Hey, what's going on? Hey, when you got an older house, you probably got older plumbing, and we have millions and millions and millions of homes with older plumbing. So some of the telltale signs are poor pressure. Some have like red, rusty type water that comes out of the fixtures, um, and it gradually becomes worse and worse. And the reason for that is that galvanized domestic plumbing will corrode and rust over years. Now, what happens is, and it's a big mistake, people will switch it to copper, but then they'll do it wrong. And I'll show you in a few videos what happens when you do things wrong. But here you could actually see where these have been replaced. These pipes here, this one has a copper. See the copper right there in the corner? Look, that one's galvy. And so you can see how it restricts the pressure. So over the years, you get less and less and less pressure. Plus, you get rusty water. Okay. Here you can see now what happens is when you have a mixture. Let's say here you can see what they did is they replaced some of the pipes with copper and some with galvanized as needed. That's okay, but you run into some problems because the copper is a different type of metal, and you have what's called dissimilar metals reaction. There's a free electron there. What happens is the two different types of metals will interact with each other and cause corrosion. And then you start getting more rusting and more corrosion. Okay, and okay, see right here, you're starting to get corrosion right here. See the corrosion? That's because you have two dissimilar metals. So I think when you do it, you should replace all of it at one time. You see the galvanized piping. Okay, see the corrosion right there. Now, obviously, that's what happens when you have galvanized plumbing. You have rusting of the water and staining. So, what you want to do is you want to replace all of them. Now, you can, some people will install what's called the dielectric coupling. See, here's rusting here just out of nowhere because somewhere downstream there's copper plumbing. Okay. Mixture, corrosion, and here it's also touching the steel, which is also causing. So you can't have your copper pipes touch any other metallic material other than itself. Okay, do you see here how it's corroding as well? Corroding. Now, now I want to show you this here. You can see here that's called a dielectric coupling. Now, what happens with the dielectric coupling is it stops that free electron flow, right? But there's another problem. A lot of times these older homes are using the copper as a grounding system. So the minute you put that dielectric coupling in, you better make sure nothing upstairs has been grounded to the pipes because now you lost your house ground, which is a whole nother problem. And now you don't have a grounded system, which now you have an electrical hazard to boot. So sometimes people put these in, don't know what they're doing. So if you're going to put these in, you better know what you're doing. I do recommend if you have galvanized plumbing to replace at least the whole branch line that you're doing. Don't mix it up. If you use a dielectric coupling like this, then you need a bond electrical jumper on there, and probably you can. But when you do a bond jumper, you got to have the proper connection. So you have to have a ground cable with the right gauge, and you have to have the right clips or fastening devices, and people don't do that. So I've seen it done before. So poor pressure and rusty water and corrosion is all domestic galvanized plumbing. Plus, let's talk about copper plumbing too, and that's not in this video. We'll do another video on it, but also the solder that they used in the 60s, 70s had lead in it. So now if you, in the morning, you drink water from your pipes, not just to mention you could have lead coming from the city and lead coming from your main because a lead pipe main is a problem. You could have lead coagulating, not coagulating, but accumulating in your pipes overnight, stagnation, because the lead solder had lead in it. So if you're going to do any copper plumbing, make sure it's lead solder, and or at least get a filter. And I will put some filters, videos on what kind of filters you can put underneath your sink. Hey, by the way, below are some links to products that usually are affiliated with the videos I play, and I have an Amazon affiliate store, so appreciate if you buy from there. I don't make a lot, like I think it's 1.2%. But and if you want to buy anything, just go to one of my links and then just type in what you want. It'll still be in my store. Also, for people that have problems in homes, they can easily just send me some photos. And I do have a service across the country called Call Marco with a Question. Just Google Call Marco with a Question. Marco is with a K. And it'll be a $29 fee, and I can pretty much solve your house problem that nobody else can. Usually, I ask a bunch of questions, and you give me some photos if we need them. If we got to talk another time, fine. No big deal. But give me a call if you have a house problem you need solved, odor, moisture, whatever, soot, stain, impaction, noises, anomalies. So please rate and subscribe. Also hit the bell to get future videos. I will be doing a lot of videos in the winter, and then I switch over to some gardening in the summer. I am an organic gardener, so we get into that later in the summertime. So hey, thanks for coming on. Rate, subscribe, ring the bell, and call Marco with a question.